So, I want you guys to check out this mug. This mug here, not this one. This one's just got tea in it. It says Racing Hamilton on it, and there appears to be an Indy car on the front. And on the back, there's information about racing through the streets of downtown Hamilton. This mug has perplexed me for years. Was there some sort of F1 race that I had never heard of in Hamilton? Well, the answer is kinda. And before I go any further, I think I've made it pretty clear in my previous videos that I'm not the biggest fan of cars or car-centric infrastructure. But, cars have their purposes. I own a car, and I drive it all the time, because I'm lazy. And there's something important to remember. Sometimes, cars go fast. So there's this racing series called Formula Atlantic, or the Atlantic Championship. And it was kind of viewed as a step down from Formula One, but it was still pretty good. In 1978, Hamilton hosted a stop on the tour, and it was by all accounts a disaster. Only about half the race ever actually got run. The main sponsor for the series was Labatt's, and they pulled out entirely. The race organizer went bankrupt. Within 5 years, the Atlantic Championship had abandoned Canada entirely. Welcome to episode 2 of Hamilton Ruins Everything. So, Formula Atlantic racing started in the UK, but it came to North America in 1974. The first few years of the racing championship were all in Canada. 7 stops from Coquitlam to Halifax. And these races, they featured some pretty big names. Gilles Villeneuve, Bill Brack, Patrick Depailler. I don't know who any of these people are, but if you're into motorsports, maybe those names did something for you. By 1978, the series had decided they wanted to expand. They added 3 new stops in the US, and 1 right here in Hamilton. The actual race was supposed to take place on the Monday of the August Civic Holiday long weekend, but there were a lot of events planned in conjunction around this. There was a fair, there was a casino night, Mr. Ontario and Mr. Teen Ontario competitions were held, there was a disco cruise on the Cayuga 2, and the Hamilton Racing Girls were named. Valerie, Gail, Janice, if you're watching, please call me. The race ran directly through downtown Hamilton. It started just outside City Hall. The racers started out going the wrong way on Main, then turned north onto Bay, and followed Bay up to York. From there, they looped around on Hess to Cannon, and took Cannon back to Bay, this time facing south. They headed down York, and then turned right onto Park. Now, this was before Copps Coliseum or the Sheridan was built, so Park still connected right to King. From there, they took a short trip down King to McNabb, and then back to Main, where the finish line was. They were supposed to be practicing and qualifying races on Sunday, with the actual race on Monday, but things didn't exactly go to plan. There were lots of fairly big racers in Hamilton that day. Price Cobb, Bobby Rahal, Davina Galicia, Kiki Rosberg. Keke Rosberg. Again, I have no idea who any of these people are, but some of my friends told me that they're big deals. One of the organizers of the whole race series was this guy named Chris Harrison. He had developed this new portable system of barriers to set up on street races like this. Now, as far as I can tell, they were basically big metal jugs that were supposed to hold water. Hamilton was supposed to be the test bed for these barriers, and they just flat out did not work. Water spilled all over the road surfaces. So the insurers were there, and they said there's no way we're insuring this race with half-filled barriers, water all over the tracks. So at the last minute, the race organizers had to source literally tons of sand and fill the barriers with sand instead of water. But they're rushing to fill the barriers with sand, so of course sand ends up all over the road. You can see it in these photos. There's sand all over the tracks now. This, for some reason, the insurers said, was perfectly fine. The race was scheduled to start at 3, but because of all these delays, it didn't actually start until 8, at almost sundown. There were no lights set up on the track. The race was supposed to be done before then, so it's dark out. In the very first lap, in the third turn, 3 cars collide, and their race is done. It's barely started. There was supposed to be 73 laps. Only 39 were completed. Half the racers were out due to collisions or mechanical failures due to sand getting in their engines. only 5 racers actually finished all 39 laps. So, okay, fine. The actual race is a bit of a failure. But a lot of people showed up. Almost 60,000 people. So that's good news, right? No, of course not. 60,000 people attended, but only 30,000 tickets were sold. Thousands and thousands of people just showed up, broke down the barriers, and walked on in. There were hundreds of people watching from the rooftop of Sir John A. Macdonald High School. Apparently some people even got onto the roof of City Hall to watch the race. Also, let's talk about top speed for a second. I found the top lap speed of almost every event from 1975 until 1983. Now, some drivers topped out at over 100 miles an hour. The vast majority of them are over 90 miles an hour. Hamilton has the lowest speeds by far at 68 miles an hour. So let's talk about the aftermath of the race. The Hamilton race organizers were a local company. They lost a ton of money and were bankrupt within the year.
On the books it's a total of $78,000, but $50,000 of the city expenses have been guaranteed by the sponsor. Really, we owe the city about $10,000 of out-of-pocket expenses, and we certainly hope to pay that and the balance of the $28,000 over the next year or two.
Labatt's had signed on to sponsor 10 races over the next 3 years. They saw the disaster in Hamilton and pulled out of the series entirely. The Atlantic Championship, after this, started putting more and more events in the US. Within 5 years, they had abandoned Canada completely. For something that happened only 45 years ago, it's really hard to find information about this event. It's easier to find information about the 1926 Around the Bay Road race than it is to find out information about this race in Hamilton. It was apparently broadcast on CTV into millions of homes. No video footage of this event exists. I have shown you almost every photo you can find online of this event. And I bet most people didn't even know that this happened. I didn't even know until I saw this mug, and you know I'm a huge Hamilton trivia nerd. It's really incredible to me that there was this huge, Canada-wide street racing circuit, and it was successful for years until it came here. Hamilton ruins everything.
Beats, yeah, they were coming at the speakers and were winding up straight in your sneakers. I'm dancing like every song he spins his pistol like all my dance heroes would if they exist, and yeah, it's sad.